I just got done watching the prequel to X titled Pearl. This is titled as an extraordinary origin tale about Pearl and how she became the vicious killer we saw in X. It's once again directed and written by Ty West, as well as Mia Goth returns to play Pearl. Yes, she played the older lady in X, and she also wrote the script for this. Now, I am one of those fans of X. I liked X. I thought X was awesome. I didn't think it was perfect. I didn't think it was great, but I thought it was an awesome horror movie. So I was really curious to see how they were going to be bringing about developing this character and what Mia Goth was going to be able to bring here. And I'm here to say that this movie is once again also awesome. If you've seen the title, the thumbnail, all of it kind of looks the same because both these movies are awesome. And it's also a really great companion piece to X. But what I will say is it's still not perfect, but it is a lot of fun. With that said, before we start diving into more movie talk, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button and also comment down below your guys' thoughts. This is the best place to keep talking movies, and I'm one of those people who just loves being a geek. So if you are also a geek, you are truly in the right place. So diving into my pros, first off, Mia Goth absolutely nails it. If you thought she was good in X, she is even better in here. And I would even argue, I think this might be her best performance yet. There is a monologue that she gives in this movie towards probably the last 20 minutes of film, and it is some of the best that I have ever seen. In fact, the closing shot of this movie lingers on something that she is doing, and you cannot take your eyes off the screen. It is chilling, it is haunting, but at the same time, it is perfect. Like, Mia Goth absolutely becomes Pearl. And again, if you really liked her in X, you are going to really like her in this movie. She is excellent. And I'm not trying to do that as a pun intended, but it is true. She is excellent in this movie. And it probably is hands down Mia Goth's best performance yet. And looking at her performance in this movie compared to X, and really much looking at the companion piece that we have here now as a prequel to X, this does answer certain questions. It does give you a little bit more depth. When you go back and rewatch X now, it's going to give a little bit more context to certain things about the older lady, about this farm site, and everything about that. And you're going to be able to look at this and see the parallels between Maxine and Pearl. And I actually found that to be quite beautiful. Now, I am going to spoil something from X if you haven't seen X yet, so do be warned on that. Obviously, a sequel has already been announced titled Maxine, so we know that she does survive. For me, in there, though, when you look at this film, and you know, one of the big things is Pearl does not want to be on this farm. We learn a little bit of that in X, and we continue to see those elements of why she doesn't want to be on this farm, what she wants to do, and we see how she kind of compares and becomes obsessed with Maxine, and we see why she is. Well, Maxine herself, when we look at that character and where she wants to be going, she wants to be on the big screen. She wants to be a star. She wants to be famous. She wants to be all that. But she gets stuck on this farm and she has to fight for her survival. And I think the parallels of those are really brilliant. And again, the way that Ty West really brings this film together is great. Now, also adding to that, the other companion piece to this is just in general setting up little cool Easter eggs in here. Like, oh, that's that. Oh, that's this. Oh, that explains this. And again, making it a really fun companion piece to that. But I do want to mention this, and if you were not a fan of X, I don't think you're going to like this movie. In fact, I really think you'll double down and still hate this film. If you did not like X, I do not think this is going to be your cup of tea. If you were kind of in the middle of it, you're probably still going to feel the same way. Even though these are both horror movies, they're both drastically different due to the time periods that they take place in. And that's where I look at Pearl. On a technical level, this movie is even better than X. I still prefer X more because of just how fun it was. But when you look at the technical achievement that Ty West and Mia Goth were able to really develop here, it is a damn stunning achievement. I do not know the budget of this, but there were certain things in here that I was like, that is clever, that is clever. And they really much make this movie feel like a movie that would have came out in the time period that this film was taking place in. And it works because it's all from Pearl's perspective. And Pearl, again, wants to be on the silver screen. She's obsessed with the movie. She's obsessed with stardom. And you feel that. It all feels like it's from her perspective. And you feel as the movie starts to come unhinged, so does Pearl. And you start to see where she's going about in this. And again, just adds that unnerving, untingling, bone-chilling tension that makes you unsettled, but just have a lot of fun. And there's multiple moments throughout this movie that you've probably seen in parts in the trailer, which I'm not going to talk about because I do think the trailer gives away way too much from this film. Just at least certain shots that I wish they would have saved for the film overall. And I've noticed that with a lot of indie A24 and just in general neon movies. They seem to do that quite a bit. But Pearl continues that. And again, if you like X, you're going to really like the companion piece here. Last but not least, the horror elements in here are fantastic once again. And again, the kills, the blood, if you liked what you got in X, you're going to like here. Why isn't this movie perfect? Why isn't it not one of my favorites of the year? And why did I not like it as much as X? I honestly couldn't really tell you. There's this vibe that I get with this film and X particularly, especially when I watched X a second time, that I sat there and I went, I like this movie a lot. I just can't say I love it. And I don't know if it's the vibe, the tone that the film gives off. There's just certain dull and slow moments that I can have fun with, but I always just feel that the runtime on both of these movies is a little bit too long. It takes a little bit too long to get to the kicker, to get to the point, and they both rely on slow burns. Now, personally, I love a good slow burn movie, but it just feels like they really add in a little bit too much here and there, particularly a little bit more in Pearl and a little bit more fluff, where I do feel like this is a movie that probably could have been 20 minutes shorter, if I'm being a little bit honest. Maybe 15 at the latest, but it's the same thing that I had with X, and it's just there's this vibe that the movie gives me that I enjoy and I really like, and I'm sure you felt the same way, where you hear so many people raving about a film and you go watch it and you're like, I like that, but I didn't love it. And I didn't have too many expectations going into Pearl this time around. I had more expectations going into X. This movie, I went around kind of just expecting the same old, but a little bit different. That's pretty much what I got here, and that's still why this movie remains awesome, because it's in a great franchise, and I can't wait to see the sequel to X. As far as Pearl is an awesome horror movie once again. I really love the technical achievements they did here, specifically the aesthetic that they all brought this to life. This feels like an old school movie, from the font to the tones to the music. It all really ties together in a beautiful way, and Mia Goth turns in her best performance to date. Like I said, it's excellent. I loved Mia Goth in here. I think she is the reason to see this movie. If you loved X, you're going to love this movie. If you liked X, you're going to like this movie. If you're indifferent about X, you're also going to be indifferent about this movie. And if you hated X, you're probably going to hate this one too. You might appreciate more of the technical stuff in here, but overall, this is a really good companion piece to it. With that said then, I'm going to give Pearl a B. Know down below what your guys' thoughts are. Thank you so much again for watching this. Tune into a lot more movie content on this channel coming up in the next couple of days. And of course, guys, until next time, stay classy.